When picking both my major and my school, there was a lot of things to consider. First and foremost, even though I do speak Korean at a decent level, I knew that I did not want to study my whole major in Korean. So finding majors taught in English was very important to me. When picking what major to do, there aren't that many, but luckily international studies is something I was very interested in due to its broadness.
So the program I'm in right now, they have both Korean and English classes, which is very helpful because my Korean is not that great. It also allows me to study in a field that I really like and still get the opportunity to be in the Korean educational system and be at a Korean university.
And then at Ewha, our ability to specify further from that was something that I was very interested in.
I always wanted to study a business major, but I also needed the courses to be taught in English. So once I found the Division of International Studies, that's what made my decision.
So first and foremost, you have to fill out the application.
Also gather a bunch of documents like my high school transcripts and prove that I was a foreigner.
The application has a couple different steps, just small questions to fill in, and then you have the essays as well. And then after that, there's the most difficult step, which is the documents. The documents can be really difficult because they all have to be original copies or notarized copies, which can just be difficult to achieve, especially if you are living abroad like I was. Yes, the documents. I was living in Korea already when I was applying for Ewha Women's University. Getting all of my documents, getting them all notarized, getting them to Korea, and then getting them into the office was very difficult. Some of my documents I turned in late, but luckily I was still able to be accepted.
I was a foreigner in the country that I was already living in, so gathering a lot of the documents that I needed was harder for me, but since I have been preparing myself to applying a couple months before, I had the documents on time.
It also is quite expensive to get documents notarized, so that's something to consider and prepare for in advance. And as well, you might want to extra notarize some copies so that you have backups. As well, proving that you're not Korean can be a struggle for some people, especially if you have one parent who's maybe absent in your life or has passed away. You need to find ways to still prove that that person is not Korean so that you can apply through the international student title. So those are all challenges that you should start thinking about long before the application opens.
It's a lot of work. For me, since I'm from Quebec, which is the only French province in Canada, I had to translate a lot of documents because they were all in French. This made all the documental process very difficult, and it required a lot of different.
The number one thing I'm going to say to anyone moving to Korea is you have to learn Korean. It's not optional. If you want to study in DIS, it's an awesome program and our classes are taught in English. However, that's where that stops. Every aspect of life in Korea will be drastically improved if you can speak Korean, at least at a somewhat conversational, comfortable level. You don't need to be totally fluent, but you do need to be able to speak Korean, and I think sometimes that can be misleading during the application process because it is no longer mandatory to have a Korean score to apply and or graduate from Ewha Women's University, but I would say for quality of life purposes, speaking Korean is just the number one thing that I really think everyone should focus on when they come to Ewha or beforehand.